Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to the Soul Manifestation Podcast. So, there has been so much that has happened. There is so much I want to talk to you about. I know some of you guys are irking for the next piece of my real spiritual awakening. And that will be coming up soon. I promise, I promise, I promise. Also, I did promise you guys telling the story of my, well, not ski accident, but my ski trip and the trauma that I got from my ski accident 18 years ago and how I shifted that. So it's been a while. I want to go back to that and maybe we'll talk about a few other things because honestly, I have so much to share, so much wisdom that I'm learning through my own journey and that I know will be very valuable to all of you. So anyways, we'll start with that, see how much time we have. I do have some client calls coming up. So let's just get to it and give you as much value as possible. So I missed you guys. I feel like it's been so long. I riddled in some other podcasts, vocal ones. So anyways, it's nice to just be here and like have kind of a one-on-one intimate setting with all y'all individually. So as you guys know, we create our reality. Okay. So our subconscious mind literally creates our reality. Everything in our life right now, on an unconscious level, we want. Some of you might be triggered right now. Okay. Let me explain a little bit further. So you know about the EMF field, hopefully by now. If you don't, well, you can email my team at Jillian Nixon. We'll send you some resources there at gmail.com. We'll put it in the show notes. But our EMF field creates everything, as you know, our energy field. Okay. There are two torrential fields, one going out with the intention and the magnetic one coming back in. You know, the feminine energy is magnetic, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The masculine is intention and it's balance within. So hopefully you know this already. And if you don't, again, we'll send you some resources. Not going to go into the science behind that right now. However, what happens is anytime we have trauma in our life, which is what happens in the body, it's literally stuck energy. It's emotion that we didn't fully process. And in that emotion, we write a belief about self. So say my parents forgot to pick me up one day and I'm really young and I'm at a soccer practice and then they come, late and it was like cold and it was dark and I'm like, I feel unsafe. Now, if I didn't feel that fully in my body and allow myself to process it because, we don't feel emotions in the family, that's bad, don't cry, blah, 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 blah. At least the programming I was brought up with, then now that's in my body. But what happens is it starts to build. It's like a snowball. It's filaments of energy that start to build and compound, eventually becoming an illness, a dis-ease in the body if it reaches the first 3 layers of the auric field. Okay. So our higher self basically wants us to learn lessons through this and we're actually not even going to get into that today. It's too complex for this conversation. So in order to transmute this, we literally have to process this energy through the body, this emotion, energy in motion, because it's blocking our funnel and it's distorting our EMF field, which is the magnet that we are, that literally controls everybody, everything around us, what we call in, what we repel. Yes. You guys hopefully know Nicole and I are launching, and applications, by the way, close on June 1st for your soul line wealth plan. It's a 6-month mastermind. You can go back to behind the scenes team. We talk about that. It is going to be so powerful. And I am so excited to welcome the people who have signed up in. It is an incredible, incredible group. Anyways, so we are either repelling money and provision and support, or we are calling it in. Same thing with our level of confidence. So some people get trapped in a cycle of like, they're never good enough. They have 4 PhDs and they need another one to justify and feel smart and blah, blah, blah. And I got kind of trapped in this in a different way. Obviously not in like the traditional college route. Yes, I did go to college. Yeah, well, university, dropped out, went to college, theater school in New York. Anyways, my story's part of it's like behind in that podcast if you want to go listen. But anyways, it was like I never knew enough. I needed to be better. And I'm all about growth always, but it's like, you know, at this point I have like 17 freaking certifications. It's a cosmic joke. I'm like, hey, why am I spending so much time, energy, money, like literally $500,000 I've spent on trainings at this point with that, and still thinking I'm not good enough. The shifts aren't good enough, even though I have the data. I have so many testimonials. You guys know this. If you've been following me for a while, I have a whole IG testimonial thing. If you need it, I have a YouTube video testimonial thing. The point is, I was still looking for external validation because I had belief constructs that you're not good enough, this is dangerous, etc., etc. So, well, this is dangerous is like the skiing thing. So anyways, we're always controlling our reality based on our paradigm and based on what the magnet that we are is. You cannot shift the magnet by just shifting the mind. I can talk on a science level about this further if you guys want, put it in the comments. And also, if you've been listening to this podcast and you've gotten value, please share it, please like it, or please leave a 5-star review. That really helps get the algorithm up. I put a lot of time, energy, money into this podcast. I do it for free. I do not have sponsors, and I would really appreciate that reciprocation of this energy that I'm putting into it. Anyway, so, okay, just making sure it's recording. So I had a soul pull to go skiing, and for 18 years, I had a really bad ski accident 18 years ago, okay? I was skiing. I'm quite a good skier. And I grew up skiing, and then I switched to snowboarding, and then I went back to skiing. I'm not phenomenal, but I'm pretty good. I was I was going down black diamonds. And I kind of stopped skiing actually in grade 6 for a little bit because I synchronized skated, and that was on Sundays, and we used to ski on Sundays. Anyways, I'm a pretty decent skier, gone off jumps, the whole thing. So I was skiing, and specifically remember who I was with. It was like a really icy day at this ski hill called Sunshine in Alberta. If you know it, it is great. Love it. Love the ski out. There's like this little trail with this bum, bum, bum. It's kind of like moguls, but like way more fun. Anyways, can't wait to do a skiing there again. So what happened was, it was in the afternoon, I had a bad fall, and I thought it was like kind of funny. Firstly, I told my dad, like, I need to get my skis sharpened. Like, they're feeling like, I'd gone the previous week, and I'm like, they're feeling like they were kind of slipping. And if you're a skier and you're kind of attuned to this, you know, it's kind of like skates, like, you know, when they need to get sharpened. So anyways, he's like, we can't sharpen them the hill, blah, blah, blah. I think he just didn't want to get them sharpened. Anyways, whatever. So fast forward, I had a really bad fall, thought it was kind of funny, hurt my knee, whatever. My ski popped off, and I think it was a blue. It might've been a black. I think it was a blue. Anyways, I fell down the hill, whatever. We thought it was funny. I was with 2 friends at lunch. We like laughed about it. Haha. I was like, I've never had a fall like that. I like literally ate it down the whole ski hill. Anyways, so we were wanting to go in the ski out. Obviously, we're not going to take the gondola down. The ski out's like the best part of the day. So we're like, we're going to do a couple more runs. My dad's like, come down. I'll meet you guys at the bottom. I'll go get the car, whatever. So he goes and he gets the car, and we don't show up for a number of hours. And here's why. So it was the last run before the ski out, and I've done this run so many times. It was a blue, it was the top of the hill, really icy conditions, and I caught an edge. My skis were really dull, so it was like really easy, and I face planted. And I face planted so bad. I actually don't remember part of it. Like, part of it's literally blocked out of my memory, which happens when we have trauma, like a safety mechanism. And one friend was behind me, one was in front. And this woman and her husband stop, and they like shriek. And anyways, all I remember is them like waking me up, and they're like, holy shit, are you okay? My nose is dripping blood. Like, not, I shouldn't say dripping. It's a funnel of blood. It's like gushing out. And they're like, oh my God, we're calling the ambulance. Like, I think you have a broken nose. We're hoping nothing, like, don't move. Anyway, so the ski ambulance comes. They take me down in a stretcher to the hospital at the ski hill, which is why we didn't show up. And I had lost so much blood. I was like literally white. And anyways, they were very concerned. Obviously, I survived. I actually didn't have a broken nose, ironically. which is so crazy. And like, I was so worried I did because my brother broke once. I think he was snowboarding years ago and they had to like move it back into place. And then his nose was like, he has like a bump on his nose from it being broken. Anyways, I was mortified. Anyway, so didn't have a broken nose. But I lost a lot of blood and the whole thing was very traumatizing. Put a lot of fear in my nervous system. And I had another kind of ski accident like years prior. I was very young. We were on the chair, we were getting on the chairlift and I almost fell off and it hit me. And then my brother like grabbed me. It's like as you're getting on. So, and I was like on, but half on, and I was like falling off. Anyways, he grabbed me. And again, I like blacked out and made it on the chairlift, but that was like traumatizing. So I had like two pretty significant traumas. Wondering the rest of the story, we ended up, one of my friends reached my dad and whatever. I was like, this is why I need my ski sharpened. Anyways, so I got really into cross country skiing a number of years later, and it's so crazy because that ski accident was right after my ski week in grade 10, which is the last year I was at my boarding school. And that was the last time I went downhill skiing. And so I just thought, no, I like cross country skiing a lot better. That year I actually won the cross country ski race out of all the girls in the school and like came third out of all the dudes. So I'm like, I love cross country skiing. Like, even though I'd only like cross country skied 6 times in my life, but my cousins are like Olympic athletes. Like they were on the junior Olympic team and it's like kind of my DNA. And I was a really avid cross country runner. So it translated a lot. Also like manifested it. I was so set on winning that race. I had came second last the year before and I was like, I'm going to win this year. And I was also unattached, but I did. I beat some pretty prominent athletes from Olympic families. Anyway, not to boost Jill's ego here. I am not at that level of fitness anymore. So maybe that should be an intention of mine. Okay, so back to the important stuff. So anyways, I'd been feeling a pull for a number of years to go skiing, and I was gonna go during my birthday. 2 of my friends came out. Anyways, it ended up being so cold and like something happened to my skis. I don't know, they were missing. I think my dad, like, he's like, I don't know if you should use these. They're really old. I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, can you just get them sharpened? Anyways, we never got them back from the ski shop. So, yeah, I was like waiting on them. And then I'm like, whatever, it's like, it's so cold. So, fast and anyways, whatever. We'll not talk about the cross country ski Christmas situation, but I didn't go then. And my friends kind of came and one, they're a couple and the male partner was like, yeah, I'll go if you want to go. But like my female friend who I'm only friends with him. I mean, he's super cool. Don't get me wrong, but I'm friends with him because she's my best friend, one of my best friends for a long, long time. And so, I'm like, no, like, I'm not going to go without Roche. So anyways, beside the point, didn't go. And then I was going to go another time and things happen. And so finally it's like getting the end of ski season. I was like, okay, I hate skiing when it's super, super cold because I get really cold really easily. And I remember like getting pelleted -40 growing up on the ski lifts in Alberta. And so I'm like, I love spring skiing, and Mount Washington, which is literally in British Columbia where I live most of the time. It was about to shut down. So I had dates set out. Anyways, I called and like tried to book a lodge and they're like, oh, we're fully booked. I'm like, what? They're like never fully booked. Anyways, apparently it was like spring break. So thank God I didn't go because there's way too many people. And like this girl's like a homebody and like a hermit. So basically the last ski week they had availability. So I was like, okay, I'm booking it. Everything happened to not make me go, but I booked it. And then I got there, got the skis for like 3 days, and downhill skis, no cross country skis. They have amazing cross country skiing there. Yes, I did go one day, but on the way out. But downhill skis, and I'm like, okay, so like let's go skiing. And I like kind of forgot about these traumas. I like didn't think they affected me. I'm like, no, I don't have ski trauma. Like that didn't affect me. Well, let me tell you, your body keeps a score. If you haven't read that book, such a good book. So I'm getting on this. So firstly, you kind of have to go down the bunny hill to get to the chairlift. Start like going down the bunny hill, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like almost falling. And I'm like, this is so embarrassing. Yes, I haven't skied for 18 years, but like I was a good skier, and my body is like freaking out. I'm going into a trauma response, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get. So I start to work through it. I get to the bottom. By the way, when they did my ski bindings, I knew intuitively something was off. No, I don't know how to do them. Just my intuition was like, something's off. I did a reel on this or a story a while back. Some might have seen it. And what I realized was trust your intuition. So we'll get to that part of the story, but I don't know how to do them, but something told me like she didn't put them in right. And so I didn't say anything because like, who am I to like say, you know, excuse me, miss, I think you did those wrong. I have no idea how to do it, but like my intuition saying that, should have said it. So anyways, went down the hill, and then I got in the chairlift. As soon as I'm like about, the chairlift is coming behind me, my body again is in fight and flight and freeze. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what's going on? Immediately that memory came up of when I almost fell down the chairlift. And so I get on, whatever, go down the hill. It is like mortifying. And I'm like, okay, my body is clearly in a trauma response. I'm believing because of that trauma response, like what's playing in my mind is, this is dangerous. This is dangerous. You suck at skiing. You suck at skiing. This is dangerous. People are looking at you, blah, 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 blah. And so I'm like, okay, F this. I am like trained in trauma. It is like the creme de la creme of what I do, core healing, that and like dark forest clearings. And then from there, manifesting from your soul. But I'm like, I got to go transmute this because, oh, this is the crazy part. So the ski conditions, I specifically went in spring so that it'd be sunny and it's British Columbia and warm and powdery. Like my favorite skiing is like a bit of powder, like this much powder if you're watching the video. And then like, you know, the trails are groomed, but not too much. So it's like a light powder. That day, it is so cold. It is icy conditions. It basically starts to rain. And I'm like, what is going on? These are the exact conditions of that when I fell. And I was like, this is a cosmic joke. So I was literally a magnet to recreate that same situation because I hadn't healed it. And this is where higher self starts to come in. I said we wouldn't really talk about higher self, but we're talking about a little bit because this is important. So I'm like, okay, I know these energetics. I know there's a lot of trauma. I'm going to go transmute this. So I went back to the lodge, walked back, and there's a very heavy ski boots, and did some trauma work on myself and alchemized it and literally taught my body that it was safe. And I shifted the paradigm anyways. I have a number of tools that I do this with clients. It takes a little bit longer when I do it with myself because I got to like record myself first and then kind of go in the body work. And anyways, beside the point. So I alchemized it. And the new belief I installed was, I am safe and I am a good skier. And so I literally came back, went to the ski hill, went down the bunny hill. All of a sudden I was like, whoa, I'm like finding the flow. And then I go up the chairlift and I'm like sitting there waiting. I'm like, whoa, I'm literally not afraid anymore of this chairlift coming. No wonder I didn't go skiing for 18 years because I was literally in an avoidance trauma response, which is what a lot of people go in money and relationship and things that they love because they've had trauma. And I can speak to this on many different levels and experiences. But so anyways, I'm like going up the chairlift and it literally the sun starts to come out and it starts to like light snow. And I get to the top and now there's like light powder, my favorite skiing. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I finally got to enjoy the skiing and it was crazy because I just got better and better. And then like by the end of the day, I was like going off some like mini moguls in the forest. And I like looked down I looked down. I didn't actually go off the jumps, but I remember looking down on that first run, and I was like looking down to where they had the jumps, and I was like, this is so embarrassing, because what is going on, Jill? Like, I like so embarrassing. And like, I used to go off those jumps, and now I can barely go down a green run, the first one, because there's so much trauma. And so I alchemized that trauma, and then I reinstalled a belief, and then I proved to myself that that belief was correct. And yeah, it was so crazy. The perfect conditions came. And then like the next day, I don't know how my ski didn't fall off that day. My ski fell off. So I was right. The bindings weren't put on properly. And another lesson of like, we're always supported. So this mom and her daughter, really good skiers, were like, oh, I'm like, it was right before the chairlift ended. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I lost a ski. They're like, what? How did your ski come up? I'm like, I don't know. So it's starting to snow so much. This was my last run of the second day. And they're like, oh, can you ski down and get it on one ski? It's a double black diamond where it fell like on the head of and I'm like, I cannot do a double black diamond right now. Like, and I'm like, this is my second day back after 18 years of skiing. And I'm like, especially not on one ski, maybe on two. I think I've done that run before. Maybe on two, definitely not on one ski. So, anyways, they skied down and got it and brought it back on the chairlift. And I was so grateful. And I was like, okay, full surrender. This is crazy. I learned a lot of other lessons on this as well, like trusting my intuition there. And then on the thing on the ferry, and I missed the ferry because I wasn't trusting my intuition. I wasn't honoring my time, my energy. I was wearing this pink, last piece of this pink snowsuit. And it's like beautiful. It's a macage snowsuit. It's pink and black and fur and so beautiful. And a lot of people were looking at me, and I got so uncomfortable because people were trying to stop me. And I was like, whoa, I literally have a fear of so much attention because, again, because of trauma, like that in the past has been dangerous. And I remember when I booked my first acting role, I didn't even have an agent, literally manifested it. And it was a big role on a movie with like the Peter Pan dude. Anyways, Jeremy Sepner, and there's a lot of people from LA, and I'm just like this girl from Calgary, like manifested it before I even like knew the science of manifesting. I've been manifesting a very long time. So like literally since a kid, it's bonkers looking back. Then I got way better when I like learned about it. And like all the energetics and the science and all of that stuff, which I teach, by the way. But okay, so spin back, Jill. So I realized my nervous system doesn't feel safe with being exposed, with being seen in this light because of trauma when I was younger with, you know, people like taking advantage of what I look like, typically men, and feeling like an object. And, you know, I even got duped into like certain movie roles where my soul was like, don't do it, or like body doubling, don't do it, where my body was exploited. So anyways, I had that trauma. So I had to also work through that and like recondition myself to like, it's actually okay to look pretty, to be in your beauty, and to dress up. And sometimes I dress in like a hoodie and pajama pants, which I'm wearing right now in the recording if you're watching it. I'm in the middle of I'm like the middle of a 2-part detox. So here we go. We're in our pajamas, but still showing up. But yeah, it was so crazy because my whole nervous system shifted around it. And I've been able to like, you know, do my makeup on days that I want to, when I want to. I don't do it every day, obviously. Like you see it, I haven't done it today, but and then, you know, on days I don't want to, like I don't have to. But it was so crazy because I had equated unsafety with being seen in beauty with, you know, and so the shifts that happened when I transmuted that were insane. But our body keeps a score. So this is the same with money. Like if we're carrying trauma from experiences in the past with money, with parents saying, you know, that's not enough, or sorry, we don't have enough, or greed, or all of these things, which I don't agree with greed, but abundance and wealth is not greed. Greed is very different. Greed is very taking energy. It is not reciprocated. It is from a wounded place versus like building sustainable wealth, generational wealth, and, you know, resourcing people to like work for you or work with you, help you with things that they love doing. This is where you create team and cultivate team. And this is where, you know, you can like employ people to like help with gardening or cleaning your house or dog walking or whatever it is, cooking organic food for you, like whatever it is for you, or all of those things, you get to be resourced. And so many people are in such avoidance of money, and I was too for so long, until I learned deeper about the frequencies of it and really went in and transmuted layer by layer my money trauma. And like now there's even deeper layers coming up. Like the more you transcend it and come to higher levels of abundance and wealth and stewarding, there's a deeper layer sometimes where you're like, okay, to get to the next layer, like I need to transmute this belief that maybe there's a deeper belief of sacrifice or scarcity. And these are both slave codes. Let's actually talk about sacrifice for a moment. Where are you still sacrificing for money? Where are you still sacrificing your health, your energy, your well-being, your values, how we make money matters, your time with family, with your pets? Opal's been a big lesson for me in that. Were you still sacrificing, you know, what your soul is desiring? Were you still sacrificing maybe your body? That was a big one for me when I worked in the service industry. Where are you sacrificing your passion hobby, things that you love? We didn't come here to survive. We came here to live, to thrive, to enjoy the experiences, whether it's the mundane or the extravagant. But if you're so in the hustle, firstly, you're blocking money, and that is a nervous system trauma response. And secondly, you are literally putting your body in a trauma response. Your cortisol levels are spiked up, and it's fatiguing your adrenals. Been there. I've had to work through this, so many layers of this. It's scarcity programming, and it's fear at the core of the core of the core, which, by the way, blocks abundance. Fear and abundance are, fear is a gateway to abundance if you transmute it, but they are counterproductive. They're complete opposite frequencies. Fear is the frequency of scarcity, which is the frequency of contraction. Abundance is the frequency of expansion, which is the frequency of love. It's our natural divine blueprint before all the traumas, which create the distortions in the energy field, which then now repel money, repel opportunity, because unconsciously you think, oh, that thing is not serving me, or that thing is bad, having wealth is bad because XYZ said that that's greedy and whatever. Or if I'm not productive, if I'm not producing in every single moment. And I can tell you my biggest shifts and my biggest wisdom has come from the stillness. And then, you know, teaching from there, serving from there, helping facilitate from there. It is in the stillness, in the rest, that is part of a key to abundance, where radical wisdom comes through. Second, this is why we're brainwashed into go, 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 go. So we don't get that wisdom. So we stay slaves to the matrix, either the money matrix, the 3D matrix, the spiritual matrix, any of them. If you're in any of them, it's a trap. And like, I've watched myself like scavenge through, clear through all of these. And sometimes there's deeper layers. So yeah. So if you're interested in your soul aligned wealth blueprint, we will be going to look at where you're sacrificing or settling, or, you know, trying to suffer your way to abundance or trying to hoard your way to abundance. That works not ever. And I've done deep work on myself in all of these, and I continue to do it at deeper levels. So I'm really the walking embodiment of this work. I don't teach anything that, you know, I haven't shifted myself, and then I'm not constantly looking at deeper levels of. I always have a mentor. I've learned discernment with mentors. But I always have somebody who can, you know, guide that mirror, who is embodied in these codes, in these understandings of the soul wisdom, not just like, oh, how do we make money? The soul wisdom, what the soul is really calling. And especially women, I see like are like brainwashed in this hustle culture. Well, men too, but wisdom, women's cycles and their oracle wisdom is literally being taken from them, siphoned from them, because overall, and they're having so many hormonal issues and menstrual issues, and I've had them, and I understand what's behind it energetically, because they're being brainwashed into production at all times instead of their innate wisdom. Yes, we need to show up and work and produce and offer, but also receive. I've worked with a lot of men too who are entrepreneurs who are in, you know, kind of this hustle culture, and then they get capped at the next level, and it's their soul telling them you're sacrificing things that are important, and your soul always wants you to live a holistic life. So when we're not living a holistic life and other areas are being sacrificed, then our abundance will actually be capped, our wealth will be capped until we start to focus on that other area. This happened to me with family. This happened to me with social. This happened to me with passion hobby. It's happened to me with a lot of other areas that I was sacrificing health. And yeah, I'm here to help people out of that and to really free themselves and create sustainable, aligned abundance, wealth creation, wealth amplification, generational wealth. And I've been blessed, you know, to be around people who have created massive amounts of this. And for a while, I hated them and resented them because I'm like, I thought, because I watched them sacrifice certain areas, and one person sacrificed certain areas. So I thought all people were doing that, but then I realized they're not. And so I started learning from people who weren't sacrificing and had wealth in all areas. And that's where I learned the deepest wealth codes and started to integrate them and apply them and learn so many lessons through this, like so many lessons. I'm constantly learning. And this is how I've been able to help clients at such a deep level. I mean, you guys have seen the videos or testimonials. Hopefully, if you haven't, I'll link the YouTube playlist in the show notes. But I love you. I'm going to leave you for now. There's so much I wanted to talk about on this call. So much. But we're going to leave it there. Okay. So our beliefs are creating our whole reality, but our beliefs are carried in our body, and any trauma causes distorted, self-deprecative beliefs. That's this whole podcast in a nutshell. And we have the power to shift them with Jai breath work, with Jai activations, and I'm here to support you. Okay. Big hugs. I love you. And always trust your own intuition. Bye.